quick Insta. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to Pop Therapy and True Crime Files, where pop culture, intuition, and true crime collide. My name is Miriam, and I'm a psychic medium.
And my name is Denise, and this is where we talk about the drama with depth. And I'm also a psychic medium.
Welcome tonight. We are happy to have you guys with us. We have an action-packed show. We have so much to discuss. So let us know in the comments what true crime and or celeb stories you would like us to cover. All right. So this Thursday, I have a lot to promote for us. This Thursday, for those of you guys on Patreon, Denise and I will be live for the Psychic Tea. We tap into the energy behind your burning questions, from celebrity drama and pop culture mysteries to the true crime cases you are most interested in. If you're curious about something closer to home, you are welcome to submit a personal question too. So bring your questions in the comments, DM, or you can email us, miriamthemedium@gmail.com. The email is right there on this slide. And we've got a bunch of new true crime stuff coming up. So on Monday, which is Monday, April 27th, we have the Nicholas Barclay case. It is not live. It is a pre-record. The case of Nicholas Barclay is one of the most bizarre identity mysteries in true crime. After the Texas teenager disappeared in 94, a man in Europe later claimed to be Nicholas. This was so weird, despite obvious differences, and shockingly convinced his family and authorities he was the missing boy. The imposter was eventually exposed, raising haunting questions about how and why the deception was accepted for so long. Such a trippy case. That's going to be Monday, April 27th, right here. Also next week, Thursday, April 30th, private investigator Savannah is back. She is here with some new cases. We're going to go over the last case we talked about. If you guys missed the show, please check it out. Everything's in the live tab, okay? Because 99.9% of the shows are live, FYI. So you're not going to want to miss that, but you're also going to want to check out the last two live streams so you're following up and you know what we're talking about. And then just to go back, for those of you that are new, the majority of our work, like I said, is live. So make sure to always check the live tab for the latest shows. That's really important. I also have playlists made. I have a live playlist. And so hopefully everything is in there, that all are like most current live episodes. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible to find our stuff. So lastly, we've got tonight's post show, of course, which is the hot take. This is for our Patreon friends. FYI, Patreon, just scan the QR code right there in the corner of the screen. We do a 7-day free trial if you want to come join us. We're talking about Justin Bieber and his Coachella performance, which everyone is talking about. It even tripped me out, and I don't follow Justin Bieber. It even tripped me out. That's why I had called Denise, and I was like, "We're gonna do Justin Bieber," and she's like, "Why are you telling me what?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of there's some. It's anyway. I don't want to give anything away. It was interesting." So also, Cher and her son Elijah Blue Allman. Uh, Elijah is in a psychiatric hospital after his recent arrests and faces criminal charges in New Hampshire. Cher has filed for conservationship of her son. Which, Denise, tell him what you told me earlier about how, which is such a solid point, that Cher's never, you do it.
So she has been obviously an icon for decades.
Mhm.
She's started with Sonny and Cher as a 30-minute show back in the 70s. And she has always been in the public eye, but you never hear like crazy drama about her. She's very grounded, she's a performer and all of that kind of stuff. But also behind the scenes, she's a mom, but you don't hear her talking about that. You really don't hear a lot of drama about her kids. I mean,
Mhm.
yes, there's stuff going on, her older child trans to a man, so she's got a lot of different things that she navigates as a mother, and
Mhm.
yet she has held her composure through it all.
Yeah, that's very true. This is why we love Cher. All
Yeah.
right, you guys ready to get into your dose of pop therapy for tonight? It's going to be fun. Then it gets kind of dark. So buckle up. Let's start with a little bit lighter with little Britney, who
Oh,
everybody
poor
loves
Brittany.
and everybody's rooting for. But poor Britney was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence in Ventura County Wednesday, March 4th. She was pulled over around 9:30 p.m. by the California Highway Patrol. She was released. She has court date May 4th. She has since checked herself into rehab. She's 44 now. I can't believe Britney's 44. Like I feel like, I don't know why. I mean, she's what? That's someone do the math. I'm 53. So obviously she's almost 10 years younger than me. But for some reason, she's always felt much younger than me.
Hmm.
So it's like when your niece or nephew turns 20 and you're like, how did that happen? You're like, how is she 44?
Well, that's
So
like I have a child that's 40. When he turned 40, I was like, what in the actual F are you doing at the same age as I am? Like math does not math for me. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
it's weird, right? And
It is
everybody
really weird.
everybody loves Britney.
Oh, we
So
do.
here's the question. Is it mental health? Is she stuck at her Disney age and just doesn't really know how to grow up? What is going on with Britney? I've never actually read Britney before, to be honest. So this should be interesting for me too. I honestly, I started I just was avoiding anytime like I would see headlines or anything about her. I just stopped clicking because I just felt so bad for her. And I
Hmm.
just felt it was so unfair at this point. And you can tell this is not a woman who is, trying to promote her next album. This is someone who is struggling.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead, Denise, if you have any thoughts or anything you want to say. I'm going to just kind of check into her really quick and see where we're at.
I feel like we've got multiple. I think it's layered.
Okay. And any
I feel like
questions
it's
in the
very layered.
comments, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, please. I feel it's layered. I feel like I think she was, to be honest with you, I did read her memoir, the
Mm.
book that she wrote.
Okay, well, don't say anything yet.
I'm not going to, but I was
Denise is
just
like,
saying, I
chapter
did.
18.
Yeah, no, I did. But I'm just going to say, I did read her book. Somebody gave
Mhm.
it to me, so I did read it. And that's why I think this is very layered. I think she was very mature at a very young age. And then
Mhm.
I think things occurred. And along the line, I think we lost sense of reality. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
So, I remember, well, okay, so one of the things I felt intuitively very early on with her was um when they started talking about her struggle with mental illness. And I understand it doesn't matter, like it's not really relevant if you're born with it or if it happens later in life. But for this conversation's sake, I do want to address that I feel intuitively, if she was my client and she was asking me questions, I don't feel this is someone who was born with mental illness. I feel like this is someone who had inappropriate, unusual experiences thrusted on her that her brain could not manage. The child in her couldn't manage. I understand some children are able to navigate it and are able to come out okay. Obviously, not everyone is, and I feel it's starting to slip. I feel like there was at 14. She wanted to step back and wanted to just live a little. She didn't want to be on stage, and that was not allowed. I don't know who. I don't really feel like her mother didn't allow it, because I don't feel her mother being that. This is what I feel. I feel like mom was torn and didn't want her daughter to miss out on something she at the time really did enjoy doing. And yet she also understood her daughter wanted a break, and she didn't know how to help her navigate that. And dad was not helpful. Dad was pushy. Dad is responsible for. Did you do that? You
Nope.
did not. There's no way you did that. I'm like,
I
we
did
don't.
not do that.
You did not do that. That was weird.
It hasn't. Yeah, go ahead. It does that on occasion. I don't know why, and it hasn't done it for like years. So go figure.
There we go. So dad is I agree with a lot of the public that that father is the brunt of a lot of her problems, and pushed her and committed her to things that she didn't want and wasn't ready for and shouldn't have been doing. And it started to spiral out of control. And I feel it's like visual I'm being given is like mom starts to do this, like she lost control and wasn't able to help her. And I feel like mom carries a lot of guilt because she couldn't stop the train, and she was trying to balance it out for her, and dad and others that weren't part of the family intervened. And when mom started to lose control, not out of her not from her own doing, the connection now between mother and daughter was disappearing, and it was deeply destructive and painful. It feels almost like a child being pulled away at birth, and not in a healthy way where everyone's okay with it, where neither party's okay with it. And at that point, she broke and she shut down, like shut down. And at that point, mental illness began to enter in. It was a coping mechanism that went bad. And
Mhm.
and then of course, yeah, like drugs and alcohol, she experiments, she's a kid, she's growing up, and that just makes it all worse. Uh and then postpartum, she struggled with postpartum. I just feel so bad for this girl.
Mhm.
And it's like unwind, like I want to unwind, maybe I think you said, did we say she checked herself into therapy, into.
She did after this last go around with the DUI. Um, I believe this is what I read, that she contacted somebody that used to be her personal assistant. And, you know, from what the personal assistant said, that she actually was pretty, had her head on straight, so to speak, in
Mhm.
regards to, I realize what I did. I need to take responsibility for myself. Because she is fragile. Everybody was very concerned about her. And so she was like, no, I'm actually going to be okay. And then after it all transpired, she checked herself in willingly to rehab. There was some grumblings about whether or not, she needed another conservatorship and blah, 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 blah. Intuitively, no, she does not, because I feel that's what broke her to start with. And if that happens again, I'm concerned for how she would fare through that. So hopefully that is not the direction they will go. I'm 90% sure her parents are still parents divorced, but to, confirm for you for what I do know, yes, there was a split. There was a difficult challenge. She didn't want to do it anymore. But by that point, at 14-ish, somewhere in that age range, she was then supporting her family financially. And so mom wanted to let her be a kid, but dad was like, hello, we have a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you're the cash cow.
Yeah.
Her dad is gross. Yeah. And so I think there was just a lot of that. And then she just became a machine. And then when she was, had her residency in Vegas, it was just, turn and burn.
I hope that when she's in rehab, she gets a doctor who can unwind the meds they have her on all these years. And I don't know how they do it, obviously, but somehow start with a fresh slate and slowly build from there, because I get the image that I keep seeing is when she shaved her head and she was, hitting the car in. And I keep seeing it because my heart just aches for that girl who was just trying to be heard. I mean, and looking back, how even for me, I was much younger when that happened, but even me just reading it as a headline back then, you're just reading it as a headline. And now I think as you get older too, but hopefully the younger generation, when they see it, they're more sensitive, and they're also, the younger generation is also more aware of how the press makes someone look really bad when they're just in pain. And so I feel this, I feel like I have this little tiny sense of hope. Like there's like, it feels like this could be different for her. It feels like she may be willing to do something different, and she may have the right doctors around her to help her to do something different. It feels hang on really quick. Like,
yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying, because I feel like this time she's going to find the right doctor while she's there, and like you said, unwind all the meds, because I think they have her on the wrong things. And she became addicted to that also. So it's just been this whole chaos of confusion and a mess. And then there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and nobody's talking to each other. So this one does this one does this one prescribes that. And then the next thing you know, you've got, cocktail soup that's not doing anybody any good, at least of all her.
And part of that is because the yes people around her weren't yes to her, they were yes to dad.
Yes, correct. And
it just feels like she was just a shell of a person, and no one even acknowledged she was in the room. Like nobody addresses her. And it feels like for some reason, maybe this time there's positive energy behind this experience for her this time around. I don't know. You feel that too, right? It's interesting.
I do. And I do know there is something that I read in her book that she is, I think, having read the book and all of the things that she's gone through, I feel intuitively her spiritual awakening is coming up also. And this disaster is what's bringing her to her spiritual awakening. And that is what's going to cause her, once she gets clearer in her mind, that the things that she's been hearing, thinking, feeling, seeing, knowing, she's not crazy. Right. And I think she's been talking about these things, and everybody's just like, oh, little Britney, oh, poor Brit, she's just, whatever. And that's not the case. I think she's just been this way her whole life. And then mostly her dad convinced her she was batshit crazy. And I don't think she's not. She's not at all.
But also interesting about her age, as we all know, she's coming into, if not already, perimenopause. And like you and I talk about it all the time, it's the most powerful time for a woman. And this is when we as women start to put our foot down and we start to notice things because our intuition is even stronger. And we're like, wait a minute. And hopefully, if she's in the right care, she'll be sober long enough to that intuition will come back and she'll recognize it and be like, okay, we're doing things different. So here's to hoping that Britney finds her way.
Let's send some, love and positive vibes for her because she was, she's just been so downtrodden. They just were so hard on her. And to put the financial responsibility of the entire family and purchasing homes and various things like that, on a child is just
unfair.
Yeah.
Unfair. All right, you guys. So let's move on. We're stepping into the spirit of the home, uncovering what the walls remember and what the energy reveals. It's the energy of the home, not the way the home looks.
This turn-of-the-century mansion in Los Angeles has been sitting on the market for over a year, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. It's got everything you could possibly want in an old house.
Although this house is very expansive, the energy that it's carrying is one that starts to close in on you. And as people start to move through the space, they're unsure about why they're not feeling energized and excited about being in this home. Rather, they're feeling like it's closing in on them. The circular motion of this home also creates a sense of not feeling grounded, not feeling rooted. This home would be great for parties, to film, maybe even Airbnb, but ultimately finding a family that would feel comfortable settling down in this home may be a bit challenging because of the way the energy starts to press down on you. This home is haunted, and the energy in this home does tend to drive people out. Join me over on Behind the Hauntings, and I'll do a full read on the hauntings. I love reading houses. So if you guys,
twist.
I know, if you guys want to tag me on Instagram or in TikTok on a house you want me to read, I really love doing those. Okay, let's get back into it. It's about to get dark. This is rapper, apparently he pronounced this David. His name's David. American singer-songwriter who rose to fame as a viral Gen Z pop and indie rock artist, best known for his hits Romantic Homicide, that's weird, and Here With Me, recently has been arrested, and he's under investigation in connection with the unaliving of a 14-year-old girl whose remains were found in his abandoned vehicle in 2025. All right. So he was originally a YouTuber who made music for Fortnite videos. David began producing music in his closet in Houston, Texas. In September of 2025, a decomposing body was found in a Tesla registered to him in California, in a California tow yard, actually. And then in April 2026, he was arrested on suspicion of the unaliving of a 14-year-old Celeste Rivas. As of April 18th of this year, he is in custody following a grand jury investigation. This one is weird. When I was looking at pictures, I was very like, I think this guy has something. I don't, obviously not a doctor, shock and awe, but I'd have, in all fairness, I work with a nurse, I work with a neurologist. So I am, I read people who have split personality, schizophrenia. I'm very familiar with that area from an intuitive space. I say all that to say, I don't know what word to apply here, but there is a mental disturbance. This is an example of someone who was born with a mental illness. I honestly, I don't know for sure for me if he did it or not. Reason being is when you look at him in different pictures, you see two very different people. So, I mean, obviously you can make assumptions from that, but I can't nail down. Maybe you feel something, Denise.
I feel he's very sinister.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel he's very sinister. I feel that one of him did it.
One of him did, yeah.
Right. And because the car was parked, it was abandoned in front of like the Airbnb that he had been renting. And the owner of the Airbnb actually hired a private investigator because they wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be liable for anything because he was renting their property at the time that this occurred. So then the Tesla was towed from the yard, and then the foul smell started coming from, sorry, I know.
It's okay. It's part of the story. Go ahead.
From the car. And so the lot attendants contacted the police. And then that's how this occurred because this car was registered to him.
Okay. So.
Sorry. I know. When I read it, I was like, oh, this is terrible. But at the same time, because he's a pop star, I thought this might go with our, true crime files.
For Denise. Let's go to the comments. Well, let's take a break and go to the comments. Okay, we're back on.
Have Britney comments. I don't think we have any comments on this.
That's fair. I mean, what can we say? What can we say? Like,
yeah, it is an interesting.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it is an interesting case because the LAPD ended up arresting him before the DA actually had all their evidence. And so they have to charge him, I think, by today. So I should Google. You do your read and I can Google and see if they did end up, because they had to do it by today. Otherwise, he was going to walk.
Oh, wow. I was just going to say how fame magnifies who we are. And it's like there's this assumption, I think it's like a subconscious assumption we all make that if you are financially successful or famous, that somehow you aren't this. And obviously, especially with social media, that truth has really come out and become clear to everybody that I mean, I know it's so cliche, but it's like, I don't think we let this really sink in that fame and money mean nothing. All it does is it magnifies who you are. And here we are. And with social media, fortunately, you can run, but it's much harder to hide nowadays.
Okay, so he was charged today.
How old is he compared to who he was with? A 14-year-old girl?
He's 20.
I guess that's the least of our worries.
22, 23.
Oh, it's too bad for her.
Oh, he's 20.
Either way, 14's really young.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Well,
obviously
and if-
evil. Yeah, so this is creepy and gross. Oh, well, here you go, Hazel. We followed it for you. Oh, Nancy Guthrie's coming up.
Yeah,
as
we
well
got
as
something on that one.
Lynette in the Bahamas. Is that on our list? I don't remember seeing Lynette in the Bahamas.
Let me
Do you?
look. I don't, but let me look. That doesn't mean she's not. Because Jen just sent us some.
Oh, she did. I didn't see it yet.
No, that's for tomorrow or next week, rather. Let's go back here.
I was going to ask while she's looking, I was going to ask you guys, like, is anyone burnt on the Nancy Guthrie case? But apparently not, because Hazel is knee deep in that.
Yeah, we got to get that for Hazel. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm not finding it. I don't know. I'm not being a very good sleuth right now.
All right. Thanks for nothing.
In my email. I know. You're welcome.
All right. Let's take a hard left and get out of Murderville.
Hazel said she could give it. Hazel said she can give us information. So it's Lynette Hooker. She was a lady in the Bahamas missing in suspicious. Oh, you know what? Now that you've given us that much information, Hazel, you know what? She might be on the list, as a matter of fact.
All right.
And then also too, that I had mentioned to Miriam, and I'm going to just throw this out there to see what you guys think. Her name is Ashley Janae, and she was just unalived on her vacation I haven't figured anything else out. I don't know if he's been charged, but I don't know if our audience knows anything about that one.
What's her name?
Ashley Janae. She's a 31-year-old influencer. She's a woman of color. She's an influencer, and she was on vacation in Zanzibar in Tanzania. Yeah, I think that's right. If not, that's my word today. and there was some very disturbing video that I will not subject you to because it was very upsetting. And so they were holding him, but they had not charged her fiance because they got engaged while they were on that trip, and then things went awry.
Okay, interesting.
So I don't know if our okay. So Hazel said she just saw that. So anyhow, so I just was like, I thought that would be a really great, not a great case, but you know.
Yes, I hear. Yes, I agree with you. So let's definitely dive into that one too. Like I said, let's take a left out of Murderville. Let's get back into some drama or out of the drama. And instead, let's see what Denise has to say for Denise's Dish. A little uplifting.
Authenticity and energetic boundaries are essential, whether you're on a stage or just simply living your everyday life. Today's celebrities live under a constant state of scrutiny. Every move is analyzed, every mistake is magnified, and every triumph celebrated in real time with social media amplifying their visibility. Fame has never been more powerful or more demanding. But here's the thing. What's the deeper question? What happens when millions of people project their expectations onto one person? Fame isn't just about recognition. It's also about pressure, identity, and the emotional toll of living under a microscope in the public eye. Energetically speaking, celebrities become vessels for the collective projection of admiration, criticism, envy, devotion, and they all converge, often blurring the line between who they truly are and who the world expects them to be. Without strong boundaries, that level of exposure can be incredibly overwhelming. And while most of us aren't navigating global fame and fortune, many of us understand the pressure to perform, to please, and be perceived a certain way. So the next time you see a headline, remember, fame may look glamorous, But true success is measured by balance, self-awareness, and your inner peace. And that's Denise's dish.
Ah, that was refreshing. Sort of clean the palate, clear the palate, clean it and clear it. Okay, you guys, we are back now with our energy check case update desk. How fun was that?
That was good. You were getting so good at this. I'm so impressed. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got a couple people to cover here. Let's start. You know what? This little alien, Taylor Frankie Paul, I'm sort of burnt. Listen, guys, especially for those that are on Patreon, how many times have I said she's an alien? I'm sorry. I just can't with her. Okay, here we go. Let's start with Taylor Frankie Paul. Taylor cried when she got the call and the charges were dropped. Dakota tattooed Taylor's initials, oh God, inside his lip. Now they both have restraining orders and a 2-year-old caught in the middle. Dakota's charges have also been dropped due to the statute of how do you say the word statute of limitation. Dakota has temporary custody with Taylor, having supervised visitations. There is another hearing scheduled for April 30th. And in regards to custody, listen, I need this girl to just knock it off. Do you have something more profound to add? Last time we talked about her, I was like, listen, when she's done being a weird alien lizard person, I'll talk. But until then,
well, I don't know, because even her castmates got. Oh, I do watch the show. I watched all season 4. Yes, I call it research. So I watched it all. But to be honest with you, during the show, and then when they do the outtakes of the interviews with each person, the women that are a part of Mom Talk, they're over her drama as well. It does sound like there is, even though the DA didn't prosecute or bring charges, I guess it sounds like that the prosecutor could still potentially bring charges against Dakota, is from what I understand. But then I heard some blurb, but I couldn't find the date on what I saw, if it's current or not. But supposedly they got back together again. And I thought, oh my God, if they get back together again, then I know this is going to sound horrible, but the two of them deserve each other, and whatever the freak happens.
We went real deep. I called her a lizard person, and you were like, only listen, to be clear, I'm not name calling. I genuinely, the very first time I read her, I said that she's an alien. There's an alien that's either taken over her body or she's came in with that. So I'm not name calling. And Denise is allowed to say what she wants because she watches and is a fan. So it's totally different.
But I'm at the same time, I'm just like, how many times do you have to go back to this? How many times do you have to have this that it's not healthy for either one of you?
One of them. Also, I mean, the tattoo and the lip thing, come on. Come on, stop.
Well, because you know what that is?
What?
Oh. I'm going to make you feel bad because I tattooed you on my lip.
Oh,
but
right.
I don't love you enough to put it actually where anyone can see it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, that's my 2 cents on that.
That was really gossipy for us. That's the first time we went.
No, I know. And it really was. What is with my computer?
Oh my God, that is so fun. It's not really funny, but I don't know how to fix that.
It will work itself out.
Denise, you're pink.
I know.
Jump out and jump back in. Well, I'm going to kick you out. There you go. Okay, you guys. So on to some good stuff. Now that Denise is gone, let's talk about Denise. Nancy Guthrie. Okay. Oh, I have to let Denise in. Sorry. when she comes back, I have to let her in. I found this video on Nancy Guthrie. I found this video that I want to show you guys. I thought it was really interesting. It's just someone's take. I don't even think they're like a private investigator or anything like that. It's just someone's take on what happened. Okay,
I'm back.
she's back, and she's not pink. Although I have to admit, at least you were the branding colors, so that would have been okay.
Yes.
I was in
You know what? It hasn't done that for a really long time. It did do that for a while for whatever reason. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to call tech support on that.
Who's that,
AKA
your
my
son?
son.
I was going to say your son. Oh.
Thank God
At
I have
least-
kids.
I was going to say that's why you have kids.
Yes.
That is the
So
only
they can fix
reason.
my technology. And it's the only time I tell my child, like, I'm like, you can talk to me like I'm 5 because I need to understand.
Yes. Oh, okay. Quick side note, since this is sort of related to pop, my niece is 20. I know more about technology than she does. That generation, not all, that's a sweeping generalization, but a lot of them she knows more about social media than me.
Yes.
But technology, I'm better.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
you
good.
guys, check. You were so uninterested. You were
No,
like,
I'm actually
"That's
responding
good."
to April. She's like, I hope their child will be safe. I'm not sure why I feel fear around their child. And I agree with her.
Oh, you should feel fear around the child. My Lord, look at those
They-
two.
And, unfortunately, they're weaponizing the child.
Oh, yeah. That child
And
is.
And it's very hard from a spiritual perspective to understand that this little soul chose them as their parents.
Mhm.
So we have to remember that. And at the same time, it's like, somebody's going to have to step in.
It's hard to watch.
It is hard to
It's
watch
hard to
because
watch.
neither one of them are being good to each other. And because of that, they can't be good parents.
Right. Agreed. That's very well said. All right. So, Nancy Guthrie, what's the latest? Well, Savannah was about to do an interview, right? And she gets pulled off, or she doesn't come back. And everyone's like, ooh, shock and awe, shock and awe. And then it turned out it was like nothing, but people thought it was something, but it wasn't anything. So
Right.
that was kind of a wah wah moment. So I
Yeah.
was telling them while you were gone that this video I found on TikTok, it's really interesting. This person though, my understanding is this person isn't like a private investigator or a cop or anything. It's just their assessment. Let's take a look.
Just figured out the Nest Cam video. She sent this to me. Her name's Julie. I'm going to link her here because she deserves all the credit for this. But I haven't seen anyone talk about this. This is like groundbreaking.
I want you to pay attention by the way he walks up, which is clearly not straight up the path. And I've said before that I think he's coming from the side of the house. And then I want you to pay attention to where he goes and what he does when he first walks up to the door. He's not walking up to the doorknob. He's not walking up to the camera. He's walking up and he's looking directly at something over there. And if you look at Nancy's front door, there are those long window panes. And we know that this doorknob that we're seeing is from the steel door, not the actual front door. I think somebody is either standing in the window there or has the door open and is drawing his attention to the camera, because that is not where he is first going. That is something that he becomes aware of without ever having directly looked at it at first. I think somebody is standing there and they're telling him or pointing to the camera. And then that's why he kind of starts to fumble and goes and picks up the leaves. That has never made any sense to me. And when he picks up the leaves, he makes a look towards the road. He clearly is looking at something towards the road right there. And then I want you to pay really close attention. I don't think I've seen anybody point this out yet. But right there. That's not leaves. That is not a light source from him, because we're looking at what would be his left hand, so that's not his right arm. That is an additional light source. I think this is right before, or like while they're taking Nancy out of the house. They had already been in the house at this point, and they're about to leave with Nancy. And I think that guy, that additional light source you see, is probably, I mean, I don't know if it would be a phone, but it certainly looks like a phone. Like, it's that shape and it's light like that. And they're looking at the camera. He's probably sticking his arm out in between the steel rods to get an idea of how that camera is hung up on the door there. And they're there for a minute, and that's where the blood is collecting, because they're standing there with Nancy after they've already done what they did inside. I think we're looking at least a 3-person job. You have the one guy standing inside with Nancy at the front door. You have the other guy who's gone around the side of the house to come and help get Nancy out of the house, and has been gestured to look at the camera and figure that situation out. And you see him looking towards the road to make sure that their getaway car is like in position and ready to go. I don't know if that car was there the entire time, or if they like walkie-talkied it in to show up. But I think we're looking at least 3 people involved in this.
Is that not it? Like the window panes. I also have.
Okay, do you know what came to me after watching that video was how chill and nonchalant that dude is. His energy, I didn't notice it before because, hold on. I didn't notice it before because I didn't really, I don't know, these videos don't, I don't read off of videos like this. But this is what made me stop scrolling when I saw the video, was because immediately energetically, I was like, whoa, that dude is so relaxed. Like, what? There is zero panic. He looks like he's walking up to order a burger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if anyone else has felt that. That's the first time I felt that. I was like, okay, so we've been talking ad nauseum. Obviously, people are not burnt on this case yet, about this case. And I've been focused on reading Nancy, focused on reading Savannah, the family. And we did talk about these guys feeling very professional, feeling very organized. Like, and all I can tell you is it just blew my mind when I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, these are not men that are like get this, like, we got to get her out. They're acting like
they have all the time in the world.
Yes. What?
And they're super chill. And he's like, based on what she was saying, you know, like when you shared that with me, and I was like, yes, we need to use that because you wanted my confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, they're definitely inside going, cover this, do this, but they're pointing, you know what I mean? Because they don't want their voices, you know, so they do know what they're doing. They are professional. They do know what they're doing. And like you said, he's just wandering around, just looking for stuff. And they'll let me go to pick some leaves. You know what I mean? It's just like,
he's like, okay, let me go. Like, so chill. So you guys, if you didn't see our last episode, Savannah, the private investigator we work with, she brought to our attention what a TikTok AI predicted. and it predicted that that Nancy would be found come June. June's creeping up on us. For me, AI's assessment, I think that was kind of the only part of the assessment that we intuitively agreed with, was that there was that June. I think we feel like the family already knows. Like, she came back to work knowing everything.
Yeah.
And June is when we will know more, but
I agree.
how much more, who knows?
Yeah. And Hazel saying his chill status has been confirmed by even the former FBI agents.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I would hope they'd notice it before me.
Yeah. Well, and really, like, I'm even for a professional, there's usually some form of urgency of, okay, we need to, get this taken care of. We've got to, we got to be in and out of here in like 20 minutes or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And
none of that.
No, they're like, we got all day, all night, whatevs, and it's a very unusual energy to be have around kidnapping somebody, I would think.
So the question is, I'm like asking myself and intuitively trying to feel this out as we talk. Why? Hold on, let me go back to this guy. Why is he so chill? To me, the house feels empty. So someone else may be standing there, but I don't. Empty meaning, I don't think Nancy is there. I think this is after. I think this is after she's gone.
Yeah, Violet's saying maybe they are being chill so not to scare her. I don't think that's it. I almost feel, I know there's blood on the front and this and that. I don't think that's her blood. I think they took her out the back.
Oh my God. Stop. I was going to say those exact words and I stopped myself because all the pictures show the blood, show the front door. And I was like, I can't believe you just said that. Keep going. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, why does this feel empty? She went out the back.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Out the back. They took her out the back. They took her around the side. He came from the side. The vehicle they've got her going into is what, looking at this video, I'm pointing over here. And they were bringing her around. And so he was the decoy to cover the camera to prevent from seeing Nancy go through. So that other light, like the person that was reading the thing, she's correct. That is a third light source. So the other two were coming around his job. So the person was inside telling him it's right here, because I don't think from the outside you could see it. So he's like pointing, directing. So then once he knew, he got the thumbs up, right? Yes, you got it. And so then they came around and took her out. And then he covered that up because you're so busy looking at what's in front of you, you're not seeing what's going on in the background.
And he's acting, he's not like, for me intuitively, when I feel his energy, I don't feel him reacting and responding to like chaos. No. Like if you're dragging someone or pulling someone, he's not reacting and responding to that at all. It's just a conversation. Like you were just saying, it's like this natural kind of do this, do that. Plan A, like step one in plan A is, but like, it was just super like boom, boom, boom. Yep. Like, I just don't feel chaos on the other side of him.
Right. And then Hazel's saying the blood has been confirmed as Nancy's. Yes, it is hers. However, it's not from that particular incident. It was from something else. She's an elderly person. They bleed easily. I think she bumped herself. I think she was bleeding. I think nobody just went back and cleaned it up. So yes, it is her blood. And I really do feel like she cut herself. Like she banged her arm on the screen door, because those metal screen doors are pretty heavy duty. I think she just scraped her arm on that and was bleeding, and then just never went back and cleaned it up. That's what I think. That's how I feel.
I mean,
but
go ahead, finish that thought.
I'm like, they definitely took her out the back.
Yeah, I feel that too. And you and I have talked about this before, how, and I know people have been like, there's no, like we've said, I'm not seeing them like, get over here. But like,
No.
there just was, like, you and I both felt like this sort of just methodical walking, proceeding to the place. So it's very strange. And I think because if it's being presented like an aggressive, crazy kidnap, it may, I mean, obviously if she's passed, it was those things, but at the same time, as we're feeling out the situation, you're just feeling this methodical, almost, dare I say the word, like balanced behavior, not this forcing. It's just very strange.
Yeah. And, like you're in the desert now also, and so many yards have desert landscaping, and they have rock and they have dirt, and Tucson is more organic than a lot of the homes up here in Phoenix. And so it's very possible they could have just walked her, brushed, and nobody would have saw footprints. Or if it's all rock, nobody's going to really notice, because if they're bringing her through the side gate, people go in and out of side gates all the time. You're not going to look, oh, wow, there's footprints there shouldn't be, oh, the landscapers were there that day, or what have you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So interesting.
Jody Marie. I'm just saying, Jody Marie here is saying it's amazing how much a small skin tear can bleed on their thin skin. And, and it can be a lot for something that's very minuscule for the rest of us, but for an elderly person, it's quite intense.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, as much as I was just saying, like, I'm so burnt on this case, there has been some twists and turns that are just, I mean, I feel like our read has stayed consistent, but every time we read it, a little bit more sort of comes to light. Yeah.
I agree.
So strange.
Yes, Hazel's saying the whole case is strange as can be. It is. It's really strange. And I'm still with you, Miriam. I think the family knows what's happened. I think they are just still trying to truthfully, I feel like they're trying to find the body. I think they actually don't know where that is. I think they know all of the other parts and pieces. Or they're just trying to they're either still trying to find the body, or they're just trying to dot the last I and cross the last T, and then they will make their announcement.
I agree. Oh my God, that's so crazy. When you said back door, I was like, I never should doubt myself. Oh my God.
I was like, I just kept seeing this back door. I'm like,
and it's and it's so dark. Yeah, quite hidden with the bushes. Yeah. It's not that I doubt myself, but this is why the more popular a case is, the more you talk about it, the more you get, you inevitably get in your head about it, which is why it's like the initial first read is usually like when I'm tracking lost animals, I'll be like, the very first bit of information that comes out of my mouth, use that as your Bible, because everything else is going to start to get sort of convoluted. Right. And so, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Lastly, Amy Bradley. Okay. There's this latest update. Investigators working with the family say 2 persons of interest have recently been identified and shared with the FBI, suggesting the case may be moving in a more focused direction. possible trafficking link, which of course we said out of the gate, ongoing investigation tied to the 2025 documentary Amy Bradley is Missing has pointed towards a potential human trafficking ring in the Caribbean. Didn't we say that?
Yes, we did.
We need to go back. I didn't have time today. I need to go back and find the initial reading and put that with that.
Oh, yeah. Because was this the one where
you can do
we
it?
kept Santiago?
Oh, Greece.
Santorini and Greece, and that wasn't this one? Was it this one?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was.
Because I remember then there was some things that came in afterwards as confirmation, like there was an apartment complex with the name, and so okay.
There was all kinds of stuff. The FBI has raised the reward to $100,000 for information leading to the answers in the case. Okay, we have information. I know the FBI, they don't want to hear from psychics, but hello. New leads and sightings still being explored. Investigators and the documentary team have reported new tips, possible sightings, and digital clues, though none have been definitively confirmed. So where the case stands now, Amy disappeared from a cruise ship in 1998 and has never been found. The main theories still include accidental fault, no, abduction, human trafficking, with her family strongly believing she was taken. Despite decades passing, active investigation is ongoing, and recent developments suggest the case is not as cold as it once seemed. That's interesting. What I found interesting was, hold on, what did they just say here? Possible sightings. How often, because we did two live streams on this, and we kept saying, we are not going to, she's alive, and we're not going to reveal where she is because she doesn't want to be found.
Yeah. And Joanne was just asking, I thought she didn't want to be found. She doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't. So we're not about to out her. And I hope anyone's listening who sees her, don't.
Yeah, just let her be in peace.
I mean, unless
if she's changed,
unless she looks like she's being held against her will, obviously. But if she's not, I mean,
I still am going with she doesn't want to be found, because I really believe that if she does, she will come forward of her own volition.
I agree. 100%. Still feel that. I don't feel any different. Yeah. That's why I was like, wow, possible sightings. That's so interesting.
Because I feel like she's been disguising herself in plain sight. And what I mean by that is changing her hair color, maybe covered up. I don't know if she had tattoos back in 98, but if she did, or maybe I feel like now she has some, even if she didn't have any before, trying to cover up what would naturally make her more obvious. And, so she's definitely trying to not be found, but I'm still standing with, she does not want to be found. And if she does, she will come forward of her own volition.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she may. I agree. She may. I think that what we had felt too was just that she, after you go through that healing process, if you ever really heal from having something like that happen to you, and then knowing the whole world is looking for you, she's really smart. She's really knows how to take care of herself. She's very this didn't break her. I'm not saying she wasn't traumatized deeply, and at some point broken, but this is a girl who bounces back, and I just do not feel a broken woman.
Yeah. She didn't have what they would call a psychotic break and lose who she was. She worked through the trauma
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
what she had been through. And I'm still feeling, I know I intuitively, I felt this before, and I still feel the same way, that she is apprehensive about coming forward because she does not want to relive what took her so long to put to rest. And I know she does, and I know I said the same thing. She does not want to open up Pandora's box. Like, they just keep showing me a box and it's just slamming it shut. Like, nope, nope, nope. It's where it belongs. It's not coming back out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. So, you guys, Patreon, you can scan the QR code, and we have the 7-day free trial. But tonight, we're heading over to Patreon right after this for our post show. It's called Hot Take. Justin Bieber, Coachella performance. Cher, her son Elijah, is in a psychiatric hospital after his recent arrest and faces criminal charges. Cher has filed for conservatorship. That's a hard word for me, of her son. But don't go just yet, because we want to close out the night with a little bit of peace, a little bit of joy. So hang tight.
And April has a really great comment here. She said,
Yes.
a woman who went missing 32 years ago was found recently, and she told authorities she didn't want her whereabouts known or her identity shared.
Wow. No kidding. So those people exist. It's a very real thing. All right, you guys, great show tonight. Thank you, Denise. Great show as always. We'll see you guys.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see you in just a few minutes over on Patreon, but don't leave yet. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow it out. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow it out. Relaxing the shoulders, forehead. Feel the jaw release. Wiggle the fingers and the toes to make sure they're not clenched. Notice if the belly is soft, relaxed. And feel the belly as it moves with the breath. Feeling yourself rooted, grounded, as if Mother Earth is pulling you down into the center, holding you, protecting you, taking from you anything you no longer need. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow it out. That's your pop therapy for today.